Right, Bob. What are you up to then?
I'm doing nothing much. Yourself?
Yeah, the bean sack room.
Yeah, I'm full. Hello, my friend. How you doing?
You might need to move on, man. You
Pardon?
might need to move on.
Why is that?
Because you're part of UKIP, innit?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not. On God's witness, I'm not part of UKIP.
I think we saw you here last time, man. You should probably move on.
Yeah, covering the same protest.
Man, we know who you are, bro.
Who am I?
There's two of you. You got a twin.
Yeah, what's my name?
I don't fucking know. I don't give a shit. I just know you're a
So how do you know who I am? They're all right. Hello. It's the umbrella. They've deployed the umbrellas.
Right, where's the front? Where's the front? Sorry, alright, okay. Move back.
Who protects the racist? Police protect the racist! Who protects the racist? Who protects the racist?
Stand back.
Police protect the racist!
How you doing, my friend?
Who are you? We are Bristol! Who are you?
Stand your phone. Right.
He's a fucking fascist. He's a part of UKIP. He is definitely a fascist. He's even allowed some freaking good thinking. You don't know. I guess that's not what you're hired for, is it?
We are live and direct outside of Bristol, in which case we have a bunch of ballied up Antifa marching down the street in response to a anti-migration demo outside of Asylum Seeker Hotel. And as you can tell, you know, the police are all the way down there. It's quite gruesome. It's always been violent with Antifa in Bristol.
Powers appear. Sir, it's very clear to my officers that you're believed to be part of a protest for which there is a designated protest area.
I'm not an activist.
Is an offence to not be in that protest area. Okay, if you're
silence in the media.
If you're then going to act in a way that antagonises the protest.
I'll stay here and film.
Okay, but I can't have you right next to them. So
I won't be next to them. I'll be here.
Listen, if you don't want to join the protest group, I'm not going to force you to join the protest group.
Correct.
What I am going to say is you need to move over to this side behind the police line, so there's a clear separation between you and this lot, which are clearly taking an exception to your presence.
I'll stay here. It's quite fair between there and yourself. I'm not an activist. I don't confess to be part of UKIP, which of course the leader is speaking here. I just simply report on both sides. I own a media company. I go out reporting on different demonstrations.
I understand that, and I'm not trying to take away your liberty and your ability to report on this. I'm saying that where you're standing is antagonistic to that group of people are over there, and I'm simply saying you could move over there behind that police line, and that will keep everybody safe.
So I'm going to stay right here. Is that fine?
Behind the police line.
Well, what's behind the police line?
See those line of officers?
Well, I'll stay here, just complying, but of course, I think it's
behind this line of officers.
I mean, I'm not compelled to, because I'm not part of any form of demonstration.
Just explain if you stand behind this line of officers, please.
Well, that was just agreed upon as a form of courtesy.
It's not.
What legislation is forcing me here? I'm not an activist. I'm not an activist.
That protest group.
I'm not an activist.
And a counter-protest. Okay?
I'm not a part of that activist organisation, nor a part of that protest group.
And as my inspector has said, you have been identified as being part of that group.
I'm not. How?
So, as per section 14, you need to be in that area.
How?
So please move behind the police line.
How have I been?
If you don't move behind the police line under section 14, you are breaking the law. If you don't move behind that line.
Yeah, but section 14 only applies to protesters. I'm not a protester.
You need to move behind the line.
You've been identified as being part of that group.
Okay, can you show me what form of identification has taken place in order to identify me as an activist? Could I speak to someone who has?
You've spoken to our inspector.
And he's agreed that I haven't, because I'm reporting, and he took my account of the events, that I'm actually reporting on today's events on both sides. I think it's very valuable to have.
But for not just your safety, because of this group here. If you would like, or please, go behind that line.
Yes, it's a form of courtesy. I'm just going to stay here and report on that side. because I'm not an activist under Section 14. It's applied to, and I looked at the legislation recently given on your website. It's applied to the activists over there. Now, you can say you've identified me, but that's obviously not the case. You haven't seen me on the site that is given to the section of the activists on that site.
Okay.
So, of course, it's not the case that you could.
So what's your technician here? Are you, what is your
I'm
involvement?
literally just reporting.
He's going to stay here, right? I want you two staying here with him. And if anyone moves this way, then you are going to have to go on the other side, all right?
Alright, that's fine. But I would also prefer if anyone tries to come to me that, you know, you try to do something with the fact that they're antagonising me, if that makes sense.
Which is fair enough
That's
as well.
why we've said to move behind that line.
But that's not how policing works.
So let me,
Like, if
let
you-
me
if-
explain fully,
yeah.
if you just let me. What we'll do is you stay here, we're going to stand with you. If people come over this way to try and antagonise you,
Yeah.
we're going to ask you to move behind that line for your safety and for their safety
Yeah.
as well. Is that reasonable?
I'd prefer
Is that
them.
reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. However, I think policing shouldn't be based on numbers. Should just be based on, you know.
Be sorted out.
Just stay here.
Sorry, guys. All right, okay. Move back.
Who protects the racist? Police protect the racist! Who protects the racist? Who protects the racist?
Stand back.
Police protect the racist!
How you doing, my friend?
Who are you? We are Bristol! Who are you?
Stand your phone.
He's a fucking fascist. He's a part of UKIP. He is definitely a fascist. He's either going to love some freaking good thinking you don't know. I guess that's not what you're hired for, is it?
We are live and direct outside of Bristol, in which case we have a bunch of ballied up Antifa marching down the street in response to a anti-migration demo outside an asylum seeker hotel. And as you can tell, you know, the police are all the way down there. It's quite gruesome. It's always been violent with Antifa in Bristol. Behind the copyrighted music over here, thank goodness it's Twitter, we have onwards of hundreds of Antifa troops kind of on the streets of Bristol, and unfortunately they're actually breaching a lot of sections. So firstly, of course, they can't march, that's technically illegal without permission, and secondly, a section 60AA is in place, in which case they can't wear face coverings, but the uniform of Antifa, which is an actual organisation, unlike the rest of the left-wing media will tell you, yeah, they're not allowing them, or they're rather allowing them to wear face coverings, even though it's technically against the sections given on the website. So we've just got our good auditing friend. I don't know if you're an auditor or cameraman.
I'm not, just
However,
a cameraman.
he has some insider footage. The whole strategy is once they have the police in this sort of semi-kettle, they'll then retreat somewhere else so the police have a literal back to forth. And our suspicion is that there is a crossing.
There's a crossing up there they're
yeah.
going to try and use, I think.
Yeah, that's what they're going to try to do. Well, just behind me, of course, they're saying we can't hear anything from the racists. Of course, I wouldn't call myself a racist, unfortunately. However, I'm just here reporting there are more people, and what do you expect? Bristol is these post-industrial economies who then got investments from universities. They all turned left-wing, and this is what happens. You know, after COVID, after all of the booster jabs, you end up with a low IQ young population that are indoctrinated by the left.
Alright, anyone got any good chance?
Look at the one
Anyone
there.
got any good chance they want to see on the microphone? Go for it.
decided to pull up here now, guys. That's the front of them now.
Now Nick has just arrived, and of course Antifa and Stand Up to Racism has already had their 2-hour slot. They're slowly dissipating, unfortunately. And there are some pretty big numbers, considering Bristol is a very left-leaning area, with flares being commonplace with a lot of these asylum protesting. There are actually several, if you look on the map. I think about 3 within the town centre of Bristol. Well, besides from the fact that Antifa and the Patriots here in Bristol are kind of at a beeping competition of who can be the loudest, right now there's a lot of people, and I can't even like have a second to relax without taking a picture or meeting with people. So thank you so much, Bristol Patriots, for hosting this event here today. And of course, Bristol's always going to be plagued with a lot of left-leaning university students. So of course, Nick, this is the second time you've done a demonstration in Bristol. You also are the COO of Turning Point UK. Do you think there's a relevance to discuss left-wing extremism in Bristol, especially in a lot of areas that use as sort of university hubs?
Yeah, certainly. So the matter of which I want to address with the Patriots, first and foremost, seeing as we're in Bristol, is all of our... I love Bristol. Places like Avon and Somerset, Bristol, they're beautiful places, they're lovely places, not just in terms of the architecture, the layout, etc. Problem we've got is that there is a government-backed initiative to turn our major towns and cities into communist far-left hellholes, and they do that by an expansive NHS, and often complete waste of money, not required, not necessary, an expansive NHS capture zone, and an expansive university, let's use the word zone for now. And what they do is they force everyone on those curriculums, be they NHS worker, public sector worker, or whether they be at student uni level. And it's very easy, and my message to the Patriots is this: it's very easy to seduce someone towards communism, because all you do is you say to young, disenfranchised people, and we do have problems, homegrown problems in Britain, you say to godless, frightened, demotivated, gluttonous individuals who are capable of being seduced, you say to them, look, our mission is equality. And it's so very clever. Our mission is equality. Who's going to say no to equality? We love equality. What they actually don't tell them is that it's about equity. It's about the economic principles of Marx, and it is designed to subdue them through economic rhetoric and the socialist in orientation dogma, that we can make society a better place. Then, and this is what the Patriots need to be aware of, we arrive at the far left's response to the culture war, which is to form masked militias and to enact their policy of by any and all means necessary, as discovered in the communist plot. The communist plot to march through our institutions and to overthrow Western civilization under the economic and cultural and ideological principles of a psychotic individual named Karl Marx, who they end up worshipping. But remember, day one in Starbucks, when they're getting groomed by the elder communists, it's all about equality. It's not about equity, and it's not about masked militias. It's just about equality, man. Who's going to say anything to that, bro? They're very clever people. The far left in Britain, domestic terrorists, mass deportations. They've got to go home.
Appreciate it.
Well done.